All right, we are live. Good morning, ladies. Welcome to our very first episode of Unleashing the Entrepreneur Within. My name is Hanna Olivas. I am the CEO and founder of She Rises, and I'm here today with the amazing Michele Kline from Kline Hospitality. We are super excited to talk to you ladies today. Michele, you want to jump in and introduce yourself?
Yes, good morning, everyone. And if you're going to watch this later on today, maybe good night, good evening, whatever the case may be. We're excited that you're on the other side. And we're super, super stoked about bringing this to you because we believe that you can do it too. So sometimes you need a little nudge to get it kicked off. And in the next few weeks, every Tuesday and every Thursday, we will be bringing to you some perspective from two very, very different angles. So we know you will surely appreciate this.
Yes, we actually literally just talked about this. So before we dive into the episode kicking off and everything, I wanted to bring to you a perspective from two different angles, as Michele said. So Michele is intelligent, witty, funny, methodical, analytical. She brings like a completely different side to what we're going to share. And mine is more emotional on that emotional connection. When we talk about being an entrepreneur, some people operate with their heart and brain, some people with their heart, some people with their brain. Michele is fortunate enough to have the balance, and mine, I would have to say, is all heart, and I'm trying to find the balance. So I think we have what I always like to say in a good way, the perfect combo or the perfect storm. So I'm excited just to share and get started. And as she said, every Tuesday and Thursday, 8:30 a.m. right here in She Rises Facebook community group. We will be talking to you between 15 to 30 minutes each day, depending on how detailed each one is. But you can always catch the replay, and we have some incredible stuff to share. So number one, I'm excited because we had the book come out. It's only been 3 weeks.
Yes.
And, most of you all know us from our book series, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman. And so that was the first book to kick off. And then, of course, we released our second book on January 25th called Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Entrepreneur. So this is the book that this series is based around. We really want to teach women, well, I don't even want to say teach, but educate them how to be a female entrepreneur, to unleash their power. So a couple of things that I wanted to share with you, and then Michele's going to kind of give her feedback and share her side. And I want you ladies to know this is very raw and very real, not scripted. We come to you in the most relatable way. So these things are truth. They're factual. They're not, we do have talking points we try to pre-plan, but so I would say one of my biggest takeaways when I started to become an entrepreneur, because mind you, as I wrote in my chapter in the book, I do not have a completed high school education. And so when certain things would present themselves to become a business owner or even say the word entrepreneur, I first had to learn how to spell it. And that's fact. So I made a lot of mistakes, a ton. And I feel as an entrepreneur, you're going to make them no matter how much of an education you have. It's just a part of the journey. So one of the things that has stuck out to me with mine and with the She Rises community, She Rises Studios, my nonprofit, is just really knowing that I am worthy to dream big and do bigger, to have faith in myself. And it took me a long time to really see the potential that I had, because I was always afraid I wasn't worthy enough, didn't have enough education, couldn't spell, just a lot of things. So that's my number one takeaway for today. I'm I don't know. What do you think, Michele? We've talked about this a little bit.
So the reason why I am smiling as you're saying this is because of the following. One of my talking points for today had to do with a degree. How many times women or any entrepreneur, anyone really, has that desire and that passion and that light inside of them? I want to do it, and all of a sudden they go,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have a degree. And today we live in this world where we have created this expectation that unless you have a master's, you're a nobody. So I want to take everyone back, hundreds of years back, and realize we have people in history like Henry Ford or Dale Carnegie or Steve Jobs, and backwards even further, right? Einstein. We talk about them today. We look up to them today, and they didn't have a degree, perhaps. So we have become, unfortunately, the eternal students, which is different than being an eternal learner, because you should continue to learn all the time, right? But do you have to invest in a X amount of years master's degree? I don't know. So when you're going to stall because of this, I say push forward. I say partner up with someone who can give you that little nudge in the areas that you're not very comfortable with. Perhaps you're not comfortable with finance. Find someone who can you can sit down and say, this is what I really want to do. What do you think from a financial standpoint? Oh, you're gonna need this, whatever. So yeah, that's my take.
I think that's so true. You just kind of reminded me of something else too. So when when Adriana and I created She Raises Studios, Adriana is extremely tech savvy. She's very intelligent. She does have a degree. And here I am. I'm this big dreamer. I'm the cultivator, the creator. And she's told me, that's your thing. I can create the biggest ideas in the world. And then she kind of reels me in and says, okay, now this is how we're going to implement it. And when we're talking about unleashing the power within, one of the first things we have to do is know which side of that spectrum we're on, So when it took me to hear a perspective from someone else to say, hey, this is really what you're good at. And you do need to have that creative side. You do need to be able to cultivate the things that you want to see grow. So she helped me. And part of becoming an entrepreneur is asking for that outside perspective, as well as like what you just said. If you don't know something, knowledge is power. You can study it, learn, ask questions, lean into your tribe of women or men or whoever you work with and ask for help. Ask for the guidance. Don't be afraid, because that's kind of stepping into your power. That's unleashing your power. That's letting your guard down and saying, hey, I have this phenomenal idea. I want to run this business, but I'm not sure how to do it. So can you help me? So I think that is definitely an important part of deciding to unleash that power, is just kind of letting your guard down and saying, hey, I need some help. And, like I talk to you, I ask you questions, and you're kind of my Yoda, so it's a perfect thing to be able to say, I have this great idea, but now I need to learn how to implement it. And knowledge is power. It always will be. We're always going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And finding those people that have those powers that you don't have, first of all, like you're saying, becoming vulnerable to the fact that you're not going to be 100% complete. Because if that's the case, then that's done. You're done. You might as well retire and just, I don't know, do gardening or something. But if you know what those things are that you're lacking, and in the next few episodes we'll dive a little bit deeper into that as to how do we discover those things. But if that's the case, then you make that list of who are those people you can tap into. And the same way, Hannah, you perhaps call me about something specific, and then I turn around and on a very different day, randomly, I'm like, oh, I need help with this. What do you think? Right? Because I need that the vision that you bring to the picture. So it's a two-way road, and you have to be vulnerable enough and empowered enough to take the lead to make that step of asking for that help or even providing that feedback.
Absolutely. I agree. I know for sure you and I have that communication. And as we've, as we've created the book series and the movement, and a lot of people are familiar with that, we've always encouraged all the women who are just starting into our book series or just starting in the movement or just starting businesses. We've always said, ask us for help. We can help you. We can guide you. Open up. Let us know where you're struggling. And I've literally in the last 3 weeks have had people reach out and say, okay, how do we do this? How do we make that happen? Who do I talk to? And it's awesome because we have this incredible community that we're all a part of. And we have so many experts in different fields that honestly, it's just an immense amount of guidance, help. And that's one of the biggest reasons why we wrote the books. It's one of the reasons why we created this series that we're talking to you about today. And we want to, especially right now, 2022, we declared as the year of celebration. And to me, that means celebrating becoming an entrepreneur. To me, that means celebrating if you already are one, but you're growing. To me, like celebrating whatever you have done. It's time to celebrate. It's time to grow. It's time to continue to level up. And that is a huge, huge part of being an entrepreneur. But the other side of it is knowing that not everything is going to be perfect, knowing that we're going to make those mistakes. And this goes into one of my favorite chapters in the first book that you wrote called Win or Learn. And you talk about not failure, but you either win or you learn. Mm-hmm. So being honest and saying like not everything is going to be perfect as an entrepreneur, maybe chime in and just let us know like what should women expect in opening a business, the winning and learning side that you talk about all the time.
I think is number one, when you go into it with I call it a backpack, right? Everybody carries their own backpack. Catholics call it the cross that you carry in life. I call it the backpack. So you have your backpack, and there's things that are adding a lot of weight to that backpack, and then there's things that you could totally remove from the backpack, but there's a reason why you're not doing it. So determining what those things are that you want to unload from the backpack, and one of those things is the mindset of it's okay if I fail. It's okay if things don't go exactly the way I planned it. It's okay if, I will give you an example. My very first year, 11 years ago, which I always say, today I am 11 years wiser. I have 11 years more experience. I have 11 years more contacts and connections, right? So 11 years ago, my first year, I made $99,000, point, whatever. But I was like literally maybe a few bucks away from being six-figure the first year.
Wow.
And it was my objective to have that six-figure. And then I thought, this is great. I'm like literally a few dollars away, and I didn't kill myself. So what can I do next year? Right? Mm-hmm. So I think that the number one step has to be unloading some of that weight off your backpack, shifting your mind into, if things don't go the way that I had envisioned them, there's a reason for it. Trust alignment, right? Trust that that timing is perfect. So there's a reason for that. Now, do your due diligence and do your work. Like you always say, I'm a matter of fact person, and you got to do your work and figure out what is it that you can tweak the next time in order to get to that goal. And that is learning. That is growth right there.
Absolutely. I think for, number one, that's a huge accomplishment for your first year in business.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many women who, we talk about this a lot in our community group in terms of we never want to give anyone the perspective that business is just easy and you're going to make six figures in 10 days. And when I see things like that in what we call pink groups, we see all these different taglines. My client made $100,000.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, or make 10K in a year, in a
yeah,
month, or
and
whatever on your first month.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's disheartening because what did it take? How long did she really work to
Yeah.
get to that six figure? How long did it really take to get to 10K a month? There's no talk about the preparation, the blood, the sweat, the tears that goes into it, the sacrifice.
There's
And
no talk about money.
no,
Hannah, why is it that we don't talk about money? Women
yeah,
don't talk about money. We're not comfortable with it.
yes.
And I'm
And
sure we'll have an episode on that too.
yes, we are going to talk about that. But it's just, we've always wanted to just give the reality of, yes, it is rewarding to have a business. It is rewarding to be financially independent. And also, I think one of the other best things to have as being a business owner is giving back, investing in others, investing in other women, your she tribe, all of that comes from being a female entrepreneur. It's an incredible feeling. It's an incredible responsibility to have, but super worth it. And so when we come to you with these episodes and they're going to get more detailed and more detailed, we're going to really, like as Michele said, dive deep and talk about the real reality of what it is to unleash your power in being a female entrepreneur, but to unleash your power just to know that you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. That's going to be a game changer, because really, truth be told, you have to have the most unstoppable mindset to be a female entrepreneur. And women are strong. We are strong. We are fierce. And so, yeah.
I love what you're saying, Hannah. I want to address one thing that I do a lot of work with corporate leaders, right? Both female and male. And here's the thing. I want to address the ones that are on the other side of the screen who perhaps are not entrepreneurs, but you can take nuggets out of these um, sessions. And here's why. You have to learn to work for yourself.
Hmm.
That's entrepreneurship, right? You work for yourself. Regardless if you work for someone else. We are talking about entrepreneurship because obviously that's the theme of our book. But if you go back to my first chapter or my second chapter on the first two books, you'll realize that I'm speaking to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reality is we're just labeling it, but anyone can benefit from this information. When you work for someone, you should advocate for yourself. You should find your self worthiness. You should know what your value is. You should know what you're bringing to the table. You should know what those qualities are that you can add value with, and whichever those are that you don't have, who can you tap into? So
Mm-hmm.
everything is applicable.
Yes, you know what? That is so true. And anything that we have written, spoken about since this whole thing has been created is for life and business. Because another part of being that entrepreneur and unleashing your power is the balance, how to keep both worlds in alignment. And we're going to talk about that more too. But it is true. Everything that we have shared this far is meant for both, for women in life and business, women who are in corporate world, women who, there's a lot of women that don't want to be entrepreneurs, but they want the guidance, to be more successful and where
And
they
they
are.
still struggle in their own
Yes.
ways. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm glad you pointed that out. I think that's an incredible point, because I do get messages, saying I'm in the corporate world. I'm not interested in owning a business, but I am interested in being more successful in the career I've chosen to grow, to get
Exactly.
to the next, top of the ladder, so to speak. And these things that we talk about and that we share are pretty much a blueprint. And it's not perfect. We always talk about, progress over perfection, but these are real guidelines that we share. And the collaboration with all the ladies who are involved in the book, all the ladies who are in the group, the women who have joined the movement, it's incredible. So you literally have like this library of information, guidance, blueprints, everything, all at your hands, literally on a daily basis. And we just want to continue to help more women, because at the end of the day, we live right now in a world where we're all virtual for the most part. We have been for 3 years now. So a lot of women have lost their jobs. They need to learn, they need to find a new way to sustain themselves and their families.
They need
So
to unlearn
yes,
and
yes.
look at things from a different perspective.
Yep. And that's what we want to do. That's why we're doing this series. That's why we created the whole entire movement, which it's in the book. So I always say get the books, because you'll see why this is so important to me, to you, and to all the other ladies who have been a part of this. So Michele, is there one thing that you want to leave today? Because we're going to be closing out here in a few.
Yes, absolutely. And here is the thing. I'm going to go back to something that you said, Hannah, which is related to one of the biggest missions of She Rises Studios community is to mentor, to provide mentorship. And here's an epiphany. Mentorship is not just finding that person and having your one-on-one meetings where you bounce ideas off of each other, or they're going to guide you through the process of a specific project or whatever the case may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mentorship can be done in many shapes and forms. The books is one of them. That's a way of all these authors to come together and, with one same line or theme, bring a little piece of their mentorship to you. The post, the inspiring posts within the community, within the Facebook community, that is a way of mentoring other women out there, right? So I would like for everyone to think about breaking that mold, thinking outside of the box, and looking at what are those different ways where I can mentor someone else and be open to being mentored as well.
I love that.
How about you, Hannah? What is your last nugget?
My last nugget is, if you are looking to become an entrepreneur, if you're looking to take that leap, you have found the platform and the help and the tribe to do it. And if you're afraid, do it anyway. You have nothing but goodness on the other side once you jump. There's thousands of us to catch you. There's thousands of us to help you. And I always give you ladies the vision of, we don't walk in front of each other or behind each other, but we're always side by side. So know that if you are ready to take that leap, you have so many women here to help you and to guide you and to share with you their strategies, their tips, their methods, their win or learns, not their failures, but either they won or they learn. I say lessons. I have I've learned so many lessons, and it's an ever ending thing. So if you are ready to do that, you're in the perfect spot. You have the perfect platform of incredible women, experts in their fields, and we're all here to back you. And if you are the corporate woman who wants to get to that next level, we're here for you too. We have it. It's everything. Everything that you would possibly need is right here in this group, within the books, within the movement. It's all created for all women. So that's my little nugget for today. So we're going to come back on Tuesday, same time, same place, 8:30 a.m. We're going to talk more about unleashing the female entrepreneur within. We have so many things coming up in terms of, we have another book coming out Mother's Day, May 8th, called Becoming an Unstoppable Mompreneur, which I'm super excited about. We just have so many things going on. I don't know, Michele, do you have any events coming up on your side that you want to share with the community?
Yes. So for the Las Vegas women who are out there, there is an event on this Wednesday coming up. It's called Women and Wings, which is lovely. It's actually an event where 3 different women associations come together under the same roof. It's perfectly located. It's at the Fashion Show Mall. I will put the details on the links in this post. And if you have questions, just reach out to me. But we also have something else that we're working on, which is we are going to have a platform where we will have an hour-long discussion with a few panelists. Hanna, you're one of them. Thank you so much for that. And we'll be talking about mentorship and sponsorship, which are 2 different things. And I'm sure that Hanna, you and I will have one episode where we'll talk about this as well. So those are the things that are lined up.
Yes, I'm excited actually about that one. So if you have not gotten the book, get the book. It's the most recent one. And ladies, if you can, for those of you who are watching live, those of you that are going to watch the replay, if there's anything that you want us to talk about, a topic that fits within this series, leave it in the comments, message us, let us know. We definitely want to make sure that we're covering all sides. And thank you so much, Michele, for being with me today. And just for, Michelle's incredible. You guys are going to love her. The more you get to see her, I have to say this because I was talking to Adriana. So over the past, almost year now, when Michele first came on board as an author and we developed these crazy challenges for the book and just us getting out of our own comfort zone, I remember Michele saying, I'm not doing lives. And you're one author who every single day, dedication 100%, has done them every single day. You will see this beautiful face in the morning, all throughout the day, and she's just killing it. So we were just saying how incredible it is to watch you get on because you were like, I'm not doing this.
I'm blooming.
Yes,
yeah, it's funny.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for pushing me. So that's a great example. That's a great testimonial. This is the platform where we can push each other to grow. So thank you for that, Hanna.
Yeah, so I hope to see more of these women utilize our platform. You know, we don't have restrictions in this group. You can come on and go live anytime you want. And we're here to support and encourage you. But it's so amazing to just see you doing this. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We will be back next Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. And again, I'm Hanna Olivas from She Rises and Michele Kline from Kline Hospitality. Michele, next week, let's talk more about you being a leadership coach too. I really want to get these ladies plugged in a little more as to what you do. So,
all right. Good. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thursday. Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you.